play. It is 1st and 10 Edmonton. The ball's at the 36-yard line of Calgary. 6-3 the score. Quick screen to Stephen Jones. And Stephen Jones is tripped up at the 30-yard line.
Not a bad play to call in a situation like that, because as we said before, if you can get that defensive back dropping back and getting to his back pedal and get him going away from it, by the time on that quick screen you get your offensive linemen or your running backs come out there, then you got a chance to pick up some extra yardage.
A big smile from the Premier of the province of Alberta, Don Getty. Of course, Don, the former quarterback with the Edmonton Eskimos back in his playing days. He's all wrapped up, nice and warm, got the gloves on, and enjoying the contest here at Commonwealth Stadium this afternoon. Of course, the Eskimos are on top of Calgary, which I'm sure he's enjoying. 6-3, 11 minutes, and 44 seconds remaining to play in the second quarter. It's 2nd and 5 Eskimos. The ball at the 31. Stampeders were coming, but Dunnigan manages to avoid the rush and is very close to picking up the first down. They have it by about a half a yard to spare.
Talking to some of the offensive linemen, one of their concerns was, most people think when the field is frozen, you want to go to a running game. Well, offensive linemen say that they would prefer to be in the drop back position so that they can get set up back there rather than go through that running game, because you can't plant and step forward.
Who says quarterbacks memorize all their plays? He's got it written down on a wristband. Of course, a lot of quarterbacks do now. The game is so complicated. The offenses are so varied.
He's trying to deceive.
You need a little help. 1st and 10 Eskimos. The ball at the 25-yard line of Calgary. Pass to Sinkar. Sinkar with a good move. Gets down inside the 50. Richie Hall over to make what could have been a touchdown-saving tackle.
Well, those linebackers are trying to read Dunnigan as he's looking to his right side, and Sinkar just slips out of the backfield and hangs over in the flat and is able to catch the ball and just pick up as many yards as he can to get the first down. It makes that read that those linebackers take a big drop. As we talk about the field, they have to react back up. By the time they get there, you can pick up 10 or so yards for the first down.
Well, that time was a gain of 13 yards. Dunnigan, by the way, has attempted 11 passes, completed 9, and he's going to pass again. Looking for Rick House. It's incomplete. A flag goes down. Larry Hogue may be called for interference.
Forward pass interference. Calgary, number 14. First down.
Well, Larry Hogue totally disagrees with that. The official was right there. He wants to try to play the read, and they came with the blitz that time, so he's in man coverage. And he's just reacting over the top of Rick House and got his feet tangled up. But I don't know if there was enough contact there as far as his hand on him to be called for pass interference.
A close call that goes against Bob Vespasiani and the Calgary Stampeders. Short yardage offense is in for the Eskimos. Touchdown, Dunnigan!
Tough break for Calgary. They get the ball down there. Have to get the ball on the 1-yard line. And when you get down there, Matt Dunnigan knows exactly what to do with it. Get that 1 yard and get the touchdown. Don't play around with it. Hand it off the back. Backs in the backfield taking a chance for a loss. Get the touchdown and get the points on the board.
So the Eskimos will try and add another point to their total. Tom Dixon with the convert, and as usual, it is good. So the Edmonton Eskimos go in front of the Calgary Stampeders by a score of 13-3. 9:52 remaining to play in the second quarter. By any stretch of the imagination, that's a long scoring drive and a very good drive for the Edmonton Eskimos, resulting in 7 points.
Well, good play on them. Matt Dunnigan takes it in for 1 yard, but there's a lot of action that happened in between those yards and 90 yards down the field. And he's controlling the offense right now. That's what they've got to have for Edmonton.
Dixon with the short kick, taken on the dead run by Kopp. Kopp to the 45-yard line, where Rick Johnson and the Calgary offense will scrimmage 1st and 10.
Well, it's important for Calgary now to get something going as far as their offense. Get the ball up the field and get some plus yardage and get inside that 55 and move the ball in there. If they don't score any points, at least try to keep Edmonton back in the hole and get some points. They don't want the gap to spread out any further than it is right now, so they've got to either try to come up some points or hold them deep into their own end zone area.
First and 10, Calgary from their own 45-yard line. They trail 13-3. Johnson likes to run it himself. Brought down by Craig Schaefer, just shy of the 50-yard line.
Well, Rick Johnson is not noted for his running ability, but he can run. The thing was now is as a quarterback, when you're running down the field in this situation, you can't really plan to make the cuts that you want to do to get out of bounds.
Stephan Jones, good to see him on his feet. We understand he has a twisted ankle, but may be back in the game. And there's the man that will take his place, Jeff Tedford. He has seen some action for the Stampeders this year, not much.
Well, if you notice, Jeff Tedford was blowing on his hands there. As a quarterback in this type of weather, it really is a problem because your hands get very numb and you lose your feeling on that ball. So when you try to put it in there, they build little pouches around on your the front of your jersey, or you try to put your arms underneath your armpits, or just blow on them to get moisture and get feeling into those fingers, because you've got to have a feel on that ball when you release it.
Where's Bud Grant when you need him? Stephan Jones looks all right as he makes his way towards the dressing room area here at Commonwealth Stadium. See Rick Johnson on his feet, walking towards the Calgary Stampeders bench.
Well, it looks like he took the blow right below his chest on his right-hand side, so hopefully that won't affect his throwing mobility.
Tedford comes into the game having thrown 34 passes, completed 17, 3 interceptions, and 3 touchdowns. There's no question that Tedford can do the job. You have to wonder just how cold he is standing on that bench. Second and 5. Calgary, the ball at the 50. Tedford's got some room in front of him, and he has the first down with a couple of yards to spare. Greg Harding over there to make the stop, and I'm sure that Bob Vespasiani was holding his breath. He'd already lost one quarterback because of the hit, and now he may have lost Tedford.
Well, you got to be awfully careful coming in there. Tedford is probably really not warmed up to really throw the ball. You know, he's right back there. He's not having rhythm in the game, so his natural instinct as a quarterback, if you see something, try to get it for the first down. But at the same time, you jeopardize your number 2 man when your number 1 man is already on the sideline.
Was he warmed up enough to take the hit? I suspect not. First and 10. The ball's at the 53. Tedford looking for some running room. Stuart Hill, the big play man for the Eskimos, comes up with a big one there.
That's what we talked about in the opening, in the beginning of the game, is that Stuart Hill is the kind of guy that keeps the pressure on. He's got 17 quarterback sacks on the year, but he's been able to pressure the quarterbacks throughout the league all year long, so he's been having an outstanding year.
Rick Johnson catching his breath. Calgary bench appears to be all right. Maybe we'll see Johnson get back into the game in a series or 2. Big loss on the play at 14 yards, second and 24. The ball's at the 43. Tedford, complete, or is it? No, they rule incomplete. Ray Alexander not happy with the call.
Well, that time, Edmonton came in with 6 defensive backs anticipating the blitz, and they blitzed Schaefer, and then they had the blitz come on and put the pressure on him, and the pass is thrown to Alexander. It did hit the ground. Good call by the official.
And you know, it's amazing how many calls are good calls by the officials. The Stampeders punter will get this away from the 35-yard line. It's a bad snap. It's high, but it's taken well. Almost blocked by Cliff Tony. A fumble and recovered by the Eskimos at the 25-yard line. 7:07 remaining to play until halftime. It's Edmonton leading Calgary by a score of 13-3. First and 10 Eskimos. The ball at the 25-yard line. 7 minutes till halftime. Dunning likes to run himself. Trying to find some room on the outside. Does at the 40. And he's forced out of bounds at the 50-yard line. And And the fans here at Commonwealth Stadium love it when Matt Dunnigan just tucks that ball in and runs with it.
I tell you what, when you get Matt Dunnigan in his groove where he's throwing the ball to the backside of the backfield and receivers upfield, and then he takes off once in a while, it really puts the defense in a confusing state, and they've got to try to solve that problem by getting the containment and keeping him in the pocket at least before he breaks out of there and gets around the end and pick up big yardage like he did there.
Dunnigan has rushed the ball 8 times for 53 yards, 25 on that last carry. First and 10, Edmonton. They give to Skinner. Skinner gets to the original line of scrimmage, maybe picks up about a half a yard. Eugene Belleville in there to make the stop for the Stampeders.
What's interesting about the running backs of Edmonton Eskimos, Milson Jones and Chris Skinner, over 50% of their yardage in total offense, which both of them together got a combined of 2,000, was received by catching passes out of the backfield, not the running game.
Let's make it second and 10. Dunnigan intending that for Williams, who is in the game in place of Stephen Jones, and it's incomplete.
Well, it's a good series for Calgary, except that they let him get out of there too far. They need to stop Edmonton from getting any more points. Now, they've got to turn around and get that offense cranked up again. Whatever's wrong with Johnson, he has to physically get back into the game, get some momentum going, get a drive going to keep his defense off the field and get that offense warmed up and come up with some points.
And this is one area where the Calgary Stampeders miss Gary Allen as a punt returner. He added a great deal of speed to that special team. Dixon with a good high punt, forcing the Stampeders back, and it bounces through the end zone. It'll be a single point. A single point for the Eskimos on a booming punt from Tom Dixon, 62 yards.
Well, as a kicker, you drop back there. Normally, you see the kickers take the real high step, but that time Tom Dixon took a short step and was trying to angle the ball out of bounds. I think they would have rather had that ball go out on the 1 rather than go out 1 yard deeper in the end zone and get the point, and that way they could have held Calgary down deep. But it was a good kick.
That makes it 14-3, and Jeff Tedford stays in the ball game. We had expected to see Rick Johnson back in a quarterback, but Bob Vespasiani obviously electing to go with Tedford, give Johnson a little bit more time on the bench. 5:21 to play in the second quarter. 14-3, Eskimos lead. Tedford looking for Emmanuel Tolbert. It's incomplete, and a flag goes down. Flag way downfield at the 50-yard line.
Tedford's pass.
Could be pass interference on Schaefer. Let's listen.
Forward pass interference. Edmonton number 43. First down.
That's exactly what it is. Craig Schaefer. Pass interference.
The one thing Jeff Tedford may offer where Rick Johnson doesn't do that much is the ability to roll out. When he rolled out to his left, he was able to buy more time. And as you see him as a quarterback, what you talk to him when you roll out left is to square those shoulders off and throw the ball upfield.
Schaefer had his hand on the back of Emmanuel Tolbert. Pass over the middle. And it's complete to Larry Willis, and another flag goes down. A fumble on the play. But they rule it was incomplete.
Tedford's pass was incomplete. Heading back in on the tackle. There's the flag.
Cold hands, perhaps, on the part of Tedford, unable to get the feel of the ball. Penalty against the Edmonton Eskimos, and it marches the ball all the way down to the 46-yard line.
Calgary's got to be happy at least to get something going up there and move the ball up the field. They've got to get something going before the half and come up with some more points before they go in half and not let Edmonton score anything else.
And they've got 4 minutes and 44 seconds in which to do something. They trail 14-3, but they're now first and 10 from the 46. Draw play to Petrus. Petrus, a couple of tough yards. Danny Bass, Schaefer, all in there to make the stop. You know, bad news from the Calgary bench, Chuck. We've just been informed that Rick Johnson has a shoulder injury and may not be back into the ballgame.
Well, that could be a big blow for Calgary because it looked like he did take the blow right up underneath that right shoulder, which may create a problem for him throwing. And that will have a big negative effect for Calgary.
I'm sure the Calgary medical staff will take a long, hard look at Rick Johnson at halftime. 2nd and 8. Tedford with the long drop this time. Complete to Greg Feger. Feger down inside the 35-yard line. Greg Schaefer over there to make the stop for the Eskimos.
Well, it's a good play, hitting that back out of the backfield. As Feger comes out of there, they get a little cross up. They're trying to play zone, and the defensive back hangs back there and misreads, and the back picks the ball out of the reception from the quarterback and runs it in the flat. He's out there by himself because there was a mix-up in the pass pattern and the defensive coverage.
Feger goes out of the ball game. Potter and Petros, the running backs. 1st and 10, ball at the 34. Tedford just lays it up there, hoping that Tolbert can get to it, and he had it for 1 brief second, and again a flag goes down. Ron Howard was called for pass interference, and it has given Calgary possession of the ball down at the 34-yard line of the Edmonton Eskimos, and there you see some of the plays that the Calgary Stampeders are using. Taped to the wrist of Larry Willis, a newcomer, a relative newcomer in the Calgary lineup, so he needs a little bit of help. 1st and 10, Calgary at the 24. Petros. And he picks up 2 or 3 yards the hard way.
When you talk about those plays written on the arm of Willis, when you make those changes and new guys are coming in there, you come from a different system in the States or wherever you may come from, and you get those things mixed up. So formations you keep down there, and there are certain ways you run a pass pattern based on the type of call, like a 2, maybe an out, or whatever the case may be, and so you have to remember those things, and so Willis just got a cheat sheet on his arm.
That's exactly what it is. A little bit of a cheat sheet. 2nd and 8. Tedford has time. Complete to Alexander, who is down inside the 5-yard line. Greg Harding makes the stop on Alexander. The Eskimos were protesting that it was a fumble after he had made the reception. But the official was there to rule it complete, and a big play for the Calgary Stampeders. They spot the ball at the 4-yard line, so it's 1st and goal to go for Calgary.
Good play by Calgary. Got her in position to get a touchdown.
Alexander making his way over to the right sidelines. 1st and goal to go from the 4. Tedford just puts it up. It's complete to Emmanuel Tolbert. Touchdown, Calgary.
And what did we say about missing Rick Johnson? Jeff Tedford has come in the game and moved him all the way down the field for a touchdown. They put in that 6 defensive back situation, and somehow Tolbert got open back there all by himself, and Tedford was able to pick him up. He had a blitz coming right into his face, and he got rid of the ball before he got the full contact. And Schaefer was the one that put the big hit on him, but somebody lost their man, and Emmanuel Tolbert, and he was all open.
Came into this game having scored 11 touchdowns on the season. That is number 12 for Tolbert, and a big touchdown it is. J.T. Hay will attempt the convert, and it is good. So the Calgary Stampeders are right back in this one, 14-10.
Well, they did exactly what they had to do. As Tedford drops back there, he's getting pressured by Schaefer right in the middle, lets the ball go up the field, and Emmanuel Tolbert was right there to catch it for the touchdown. They had to come up with some points here without allowing Edmonton to do it, and they did that, and now they're in position to come out in the second half with a better play. Now, whatever is going to happen to Rick Johnson, I don't know, but Jeff Tedford has come in the game and done an excellent job so far for him.
As a former backup quarterback of many years standing, I can tell you that is perhaps one of the tougher positions in sport to come in as a backup quarterback. You sit on the bench, you get a little cold, a little stale, and then all of a sudden you're thrown into the heat of action. And Tedford has done a good job. J.T. Hay kicking off following the Calgary touchdown, taken by Williams at the 35. Crosses the 40. He's got speed, gets up to the 50-yard line where he runs into Mel Jenkins, and Calgary are indicating fumble, and so is the official. Calgary take over.
Well, I saw indications the other day of things that the new style of tackling, and that is stripping the ball. A lot of times in the past, the hit was just made to try to make a hard hit. But a lot of times, you'll see defensive backs and linebackers swatting the arm of a guy carrying the ball, trying to knock it out of there. And when they do that, they can get the turnover. But if they don't do that, sometimes it causes for the guy to miss the guy and to take it for a long run.
2:06 remaining to play till halftime. Edmonton lead 14-10. But Calgary have the ball. 1st and 10 from the 50. Tedford gives to Petrus. Petrus drives up the middle. Gets to the 45-yard line. Zachary is there to meet him.
Well, you have Jeff Tedford is doing a good job, and he's out of Fresno State as far as the school he went to. But he also has two guys in the game, Larry Willis and Tony Woodruff, that are also from that school. So he's familiar with those receivers.
Wants to block on Bass. Oh, that is what you call taking the middle linebacker out of the game. Nullifying the middle linebacker. Good move. 2nd and 6 for Calgary. The ball at the 46. Pass over the middle. It's intercepted, Eskimos. Flip Tony with the big play defensively for Edmonton.
Okay, you're going to see on this play the linebackers Schaefer and Bass do the blitzing inside here to put the pressure to get up into Tedford's face. When you get that type of action, you put the pressure on that quarterback and you get in his face, he just gets rid of the ball and he can't see it, goes the interception.
Good concentration on the part of Tony there. He had to worry about the official. He almost ran into him. 1st and 10, Eskimos. Dunnigan having trouble planting his feet, finally dumps it on to Milson Jones. A flag is down at the 50-yard line.
Dunnigan's pass.
Elvis Satelli in there to make the stop for Calgary. Let's pick up the call.
Holding Edmonton number 50.
Holding is the call against
Blake Dermott, the Edmonton center, is called for holding. And of course, the Eskimos stunned by that very, very serious injury to James Bell. First and 10. Make that 1st and 20, Edmonton. Dunnigan to Milson Jones. Jones dropped at the 46-yard line by Anthony Woodson.
Dunnigan's pass complete to Milson Jones.
Remaining to play till halftime. Dunnigan again dumps it off for Jones, but this time Jones unable to hang on.
For Milson Jones, incomplete.
Good pressure from Stu Laird on Dunnigan.
Calgary is content now to sort of play a little zone defense, make sure they keep the short pass in front of them and react back up before they get the first down. They dropped back in the last two defenses and played zone where they had 4 or 5 people in the short zone and 3 people in the deeper zone to prevent that ball from going upfield to getting the first down.
7 until halftime. Low spiral from Dixon that time, taken at the 20. And Balkovic was downfield very quickly to find Darcy Kopp and drop him before he could pick up much more than 1 or 2 yards on the return.
What Calgary's going to try to do here, I think they should try to run that clock out and save some time for them Tedford to come in that second half.
I disagree. I'm a gambling sort of guy. We go for it. 1st and 10, Calgary. Tedford gets the pass away under tremendous pressure, but he fires it way over the head of the intended receiver, Woodruff. 2-8. Applying good pressure that time for the Eskimos on Tedford.
Now they're going to have to come up with a big play and hopefully keep that ball in bounds, because they're going to eventually give that ball back to Dunnigan in good field position if they don't come up with a first down here.
2nd and 10. Ball at the 24. 54 seconds. Still halftime. Draw play to Potter. And Potter hit at the 25-yard line by Stuart Hill. Jackie Parker indicating what he wants the Eskimos to do rather frantically. unusual to see Jackie that animated.
Well, they wanted to get the timeout to stop that clock with 49 seconds. If they can get that ball back in field position, then they can move it in and get a chance at another field goal or get some more points on the board, and that's what they want to do. As I talked about earlier 2 plays ago, you have to be careful that you don't want to give them the ball in real good field position so they can score again. And at that time, when they threw the ball on first down, they called it incomplete pass. That stopped the clock, and when they came back and tried to run it on second down, they called a timeout to stop it, so they have plenty of time to possibly get another score on the board.
Tom Richards into the ball game to return this punt for the Eskimos. You know, we talked about the wide receiving ability of Williams and Stephen Jones. They are also the Eskimos punt returners. So the pressure now on this young man, Tom Richards, a local boy who played his high school and junior football in Edmonton.
Pick George.
Also played at the University of Alberta. As we look at that man who had a very successful career coaching Canadian college football with the Acadia Axemen. Some time ago, then moved on to the pro ranks with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers as an assistant coach, then went to BC, finally wound up as the head coach of the Calgary Stampeders and has done a super job. Good kick from Harper. Richards going to take this on the dead run. At the 50, found a bit of a hole, gets down to the 45-yard line with 39 seconds remaining to play. So the Edmonton Eskimos will have a chance to run off 3 or 4 plays maybe and add to their total.
Well, Calgary wants to be real careful here. You don't want to drop back and give Dunnigan too much time where he can throw the ball into his own areas and pick up enough yards for field goal. But at the same time, if you put pressure with the blitz, you take a chance of giving up 6. So they've got to be careful and watch the coaching on the next few plays.
First and 10, Edmonton. Ball at the 45. Dunnigan under pressure, just dumps it off a screen to Wilson Jones. Jones, good running. Takes it down to the 32-yard line. Bernie Morrison there to make the tackle for Calgary.
That time Calgary dropped back in the zone, and a good play to go against that zone is that screen pass, and they hit Wilson Jones over there on the screen and was able to pick up enough yards for the first down. Now they're going to their quick offense, calling the play at the line of scrimmage.
Good gain of 13 yards for the Eskimos. First and 10, ball at the 32. Quick pass over the middle, complete to Marco Sinkar. Sinkar stopped at the 20. Larry Hogue in to make the stop.
Well, then again, they line up again, calling what they may call a fire. They call it different things. Different teams will call it as far as what you have to do to line up. And Dunnigan will scream a play to his backs and give the same play to his wide receivers. Call it to one side or the other and get everybody knowing what that same play is and get the play off before too much time runs off that clock.
Dunnigan looking for Kelly. Kelly unable to get his hands on it. Incomplete. The Eskimos and the fans calling for pass interference, but no flags down. 4 seconds remaining on the scoreboard clock here at Commonwealth Stadium.
Well, good coverage. They were coming with the blitz that time, and when you do that, you know you've got man coverage, and you've got to be right there with that man. And that time we were talking about Mel Jenkins. He was right there. He would be with Kelly the whole game, and he was able to come up with a big play for that defensive secondary.
Well, as you might suspect, Jackie Parker is waving Tom Dixon over to the bench. Matt Dunnigan also coming over. Do you kick a field goal with 4 seconds left? Do you try and go for it to increase your point total? Edmonton lead 14-10. 4 seconds showing on the clock, so this should be the final play of the second quarter.
Well, that was the first time today that they've gone to Brian Kelly. As I mentioned before, he's caught 49 passes on the year, but 10 of those passes were for touchdowns. So, you know, if they throw it to him 4 or 5 more times, he may come up with that big play for the TD.
It would appear that Parker is electing to go for the safe 3 points. Tom Dixon is into the ballgame. The Eskimos have been known in the past to provide us with a little bit of razzle-dazzle. Maybe they'll fake it. Who knows? Larry Willis awaiting this field goal attempt from Tom Dixon. He's had a good day. Perfect day, as a matter of fact. This one will come from the 27-yard line. Anderson remains perfect to put the Edmonton Eskimos on top of the Calgary Stampeders 17-10 as the two teams make their way to the dressing room here at Commonwealth Stadium. A very entertaining first half of play. I'm sure a lot of people feel a close first half. The story of the CompuStats in that first half of play. Clearly, Edmonton had the edge in all categories. Net offense 218 yards to 59 for Calgary. Although Calgary had the edge in turnovers, but unfortunately for the Calgary Stampeders and their fans, they were unable to convert those turnovers into key points. But as I mentioned,